Well, good morning. Happy New Year. We're approaching 2026, and I don't know about you, but I'm optimistic and excited. There's certainly a lot of challenges ahead, but I welcome you here. If you're here today, joining me at the end of the year to take a look at a very intriguing and interesting topic that I think will serve you well. This is our last distinction series this year. So just kind of maybe take a few notes, but really engage your mind this morning. We're going to talk about serving versus pleasing. And this is specifically for those of you that want to make a true difference in other people's lives. That's certainly my heart. I've been doing coaching for about 24 years. And I don't want to just put in time, and I don't want to just have social interaction. I enjoy both of those things. I like to stay busy, and I like to talk with people and listen to people. But what I really want to do, what really brings me the most joy and fulfillment, is when I know I'm making a difference in someone else's life. And this distinction and this principle, if that's your heart and that's what you're wanting to do, this is going to give you a great leverage point and a great mindset to help you do that. So let's get going. I always start with the rules of the game, and I try to apply these. If you've been on our videos in the past or programs in the past and you've watched some of them, you see this almost every time. I like to apply these rules to our topic. So here's what I want your agreement with me today. I want you to agree to be an owner versus a victim. In terms of pleasing versus serving, a pleaser is a victim to the person that they're trying to interact with. That other person's reaction and response and feelings becomes the thing that dominates in the conversation or the communication. An owner serves, realizing that his or her service is not always going to please the person that they're serving. They need to be the best they can be. They need to control what they can control. They can't control another person's response. And that's an ownership mentality. It's owning it, being accountable, being responsible for what I'm bringing to the conversation, the communication, not blaming the situation or making excuses or just denying what's going on. So that's the first rule. The second rule, if you would agree to this with me as you go through this program, is that you participate 100%. That just is another word that talks about full engagement, full presence. Don't be distracted. Set aside your phone, turn it off if you can. Get all the things out of your peripheral vision that might distract you. If you can shut the door and just be with this for 30 minutes, you'll get the most out of it. Thirdly, you're going to hear some things today that may challenge your current thinking. There's two places people go when their thinking gets challenged. They go to an I know that's not right, or I know better than that. And you may very well know better than things that I'm saying, and you may know better than what I'm saying. I'm not denying that. What I'm asking you to do for this 30 minutes is to set aside that preconceived thinking and knowledge and information and belief that you have, and just be open-minded. Become very interested in what this concept is, and just allow yourself to kind of marinate in it and understand it. Then you can choose, when we're done, to take a new tool with you that will make things better or just throw it in the dumpster. But I think I've been doing this for about 24 years. This is one of the most powerful distinctions. So to obey this rule, just decide right now you're going to set aside what you know and just be curious and interested. And this, certainly we can have some fun. Certainly as I share applications and opportunities to use this distinction, it can be quite humorous, and we can laugh at ourselves, and we see the human element. It's always entertaining. So if you're ready to be entertained and have some fun, open-minded and curious, 100% and all in this morning, and you're going to own it. You're going to own yourself and your responsibility. You're ready to go. So here we go. Serving versus pleasing. I'm going to give you some definitions here in a moment, but I really just want you to take maybe 15 or 20 seconds here and think about the two words, serving and pleasing. Specifically, I'd like you to consider, what is the goal of serving someone, and what is the goal for pleasing someone? That right there will give you a foundation for really understanding and using this distinction. Goal setting, like what intent, outcome. I'm having a communication with somebody. I serve them or I want to please them. How are they alike? How are they different? I hope you're thinking with me. Let's give some definitions. These are mine. I went to the dictionary and then I kind of massaged these so you can get the concept. To serve. Very, very simply, it's to help by meeting a need, meeting somebody's need, meeting needs. Servants help other people, help situations by meeting needs. Serving focuses on what is truly useful. You know, I've kind of bought into the John Gordon's one word every year, and I've been doing that for several years, and my 2026 word is going to be useful. Is what I'm about to say useful? Is it helpful or not? If it's not, then I probably should just stay quiet. If what I'm about to do serves somebody, it helps meet a need, that's great. If it doesn't really help somebody else or meet a need, it's probably unnecessary. That's just an idea. But serving focuses on what is truly useful, as opposed to pleasing. When I want to please somebody, and I'm going to have a pleasant conversation, the goal is to maintain a good feeling. For them to feel good, for me to feel good. Pleasing, by its nature, focuses on what is comfortable. Now, if you're thinking about the difference between the two, things are starting to kind of come to the surface and be apparent. At times, in my leadership, in my relationship, in my desire to help meet needs, perhaps as a leader or supervisor, but just even as a team player, it may not please everybody. It may be uncomfortable when we're going to truly meet the needs of each other and customers. If we're truly going to serve in a great way, not everybody is going to be happy about that all the time. And certainly if it affects their comfort, they may be irritated and upset. If your goal is to please them, you'll back off. If your goal is to make them feel good and maintain that good feeling, you will not always serve as you ought. Now, that's my opinion. That's how the definitions are working. That's how I want you to see those two words this morning as we explore this together. So let's look at some characteristics of both. We'll get to some application here in a little bit. But let's look at the characteristics of service or serving. True service is honest, it's sincere, it's transparent, it's real, it's not hypocritical. It's very clear. It's very kind. I think true service is kind, it's not rude, but it's direct. Can you be direct and not rude? Sure you can. What does true service do? it often confronts and solves the root problem. Ever been in a meeting where we're not getting down to the real problem? Somebody who's going to serve there will ask a question and push people forward a bit. It's uncomfortable to get down to what's really the problem here. What are we not talking about? What's the elephant in the room? A true servant and a leader especially, or a facilitator, is going to ask that question that leads us to more uncomfortable questions and answers, not for the purpose of making people uncomfortable, but you ask curious questions and you listen to uncover what's really going on. It is not a comfortable process. And what I'm saying is, in these definitions, it's not a pleasing process. It's a little unnerving. What a serving person does is requires full accountability. And if it's not there, they ask a question. They seek more knowledge. They seek to understand before being understood. They request data. They request objective data. Pleasing people are all into the feelings, all into the drama, all into everybody getting along. I'm not against those things, but what the facts, Joe Friday, if you're of the age where you remember Dragnet or have you seen it on the reruns, just the facts, ma'am. That old Los Angeles police story officer, on that show. I just need the facts. We need some facts. Do the facts support the feelings? If so, the facts win out. And it is sincere, and it practices an appreciation of people that is not made up and just trying to say things to make people feel good. It's truly coming from the heart, what we sincerely appreciate. And I'm going to say this to you, if you're a leader or you're a manager, you need to develop that skill and that mindset to look for what you truly appreciate in your team and share that. That is not comfortable. If you've ever really shared from the heart, especially in front of other people, how warm and how kind you feel towards a person and their performance and how appreciative you are, that will make them uncomfortable. That may not please them. They may not want that spotlight, but often that serves the team and serves the situation well. So there's another example of serving. So now let's look at some characteristics of pleasing. The people pleaser is a flatterer. What do we mean by flattering? You tell people what they want to hear, and you even butter it up a little bit. And in fact, you say things not that are really honest and transparent, but things that sound good and make a person feel better or make the team feel better. But there's no objective data to support it. It's a flattery. We soften the message. When the message is a little hard and difficult, we put so much sugar on the cereal that we can't taste the cereal. We sweeten it up to the point that it's overly pleasant. And what we're doing, if we do that, and I've done it, we've all done it, when I'm in the pleasing mode, I'm avoiding a challenge and a confrontation. I just don't want the discomfort of being straight and honest. I make excuses, minimize problems. If there's disagreements in the room, people not getting along, we ignore that. We don't deal with it. In other words, we go along to get along. I think you're getting the difference between these two things. Pleasers go along to get along. Servers, with kindness, speak clearly, directly, and go for the root problem. We really want to solve it from the bottom up. That's the difference between the two mindsets. That's the difference in the two approaches. I hope you're starting to grasp the distinction and you're starting to feel the power of it. So let's move on to that in the application of these principles. Public speaking. I've done coaching for 24 years. One of the biggest trouble things that people bring to me, or their fear, is they have to speak publicly. Now, maybe they need to get up behind a lectern and there's 500 people, and it's that kind of speech. Maybe they run a team of 8 or 10 people and they're just very nervous to sit in that room and facilitate and run that meeting. I had a lady once that was just a beautiful, wonderful person, but she would literally shut down when she had to lead people. She would start to flush from the neck up, and she had a lot of anxiety and fear around that. I was able to help her really pretty much get rid of that. She still had a little bit of anxiety at times, and when she's running or facilitating a meeting of 30 people now, but she loves doing it. She wanted to do it. She said, "Can you help me?" And I said, "Absolutely." So how do we apply this? Well, a pleasing person that's going to publicly share themselves or their ideas with other people or their thoughts or a presentation, what is their focus? Their focus is on how people are judging them, how people are seeing them. Are they looking at me and thinking, I'm just stupid, I'm just nervous, I don't know what I'm doing? The thoughts that swirl through my head are very self-centered when I'm in a pleasing mode, because I think the speech or my leadership is all about me. It's a very self-centered, dare I say, immature way of being and showing up. A server shows up in public speaking not concerned about themselves or what people are thinking of them, but they really have something to share that's of value. They're fearless because their focus is on the value and the subject that they're bringing and the content that they're bringing, how helpful it can be. That goes back to that word of helpful. I've got something here that can be quite helpful. Now, not everybody is going to receive it and understand it, but some will, and that's okay. And some people might think something about me. I'm going to try not to be distracting, but my focus isn't going to be on me. My focus is on what I'm bringing. It's the ugly woman in the desert that showed up with a bucket, a rusty bucket on her head, but it was full of water. The man that was thirsty and drowning or drying up in the desert, what was he interested in? He wasn't interested in the woman. He wasn't interested in the bucket. He was interested in the water. If you see your public speaking as bringing water, let's focus on the water, not on the bucket and not on the person delivering it. That helped this lady turn that around, and she started to do very well. Similarly, leadership and coaching others. It's not about you if you're a servant. If you're a pleaser, it's all about how people feel about you. Do they see you as an effective leader, as an effective coach? How do they judge you? There's a lot of judgment in here, and that produces fear and worry and anxiety. You can learn to shift your thinking to a serving mindset where it doesn't matter what people think about me. What matters is them. Where do they need to go? How can I help them get there? How can I improve things for them? How can I be useful to them? Transparent accountability. You got a team. They're not being honest. They're not being open. They're just playing games. Somebody is going to come in and be so sincere and so honest and so kind enough to speak the truth that they're going to ask questions that will start to bring about a transparent accountability. People are going to be asked about the words they speak. What did you mean by that? Is that really what you want to say? Is that how you really feel? Is that what you really think? Those kinds of questions. And then, if you want astounding sales and customer service in a business, if you want to do astounding customer care and service, serving is where it's at. Pleasing messes it up. Me smoozing and telling people untrue things or colored things or that are just tweaked in a way to make them feel good, but they really don't have substance, that's not going to develop long-term trust. That's not going to develop customers that want to stay with you. That's not going to develop people that want to buy something. In fact, sales, when it becomes service, is very easy. People are scared to death of sales. They don't want pushy salespeople. They don't want to be sold. We get rid of all that foolishness and all that. And a salesperson is just somebody who serves. They help somebody get something that they want. They listen and understand what a person wants, and if they can provide that, they accommodate and facilitate them buying that. That is a great, astounding salesperson. Their mouth is shut, their ears are open. They do provide some questions to clarify, and once we're clear on what we want and what it costs and what you need to do, then it's a yes or it's a no, and both words are fine. That's great sales in my world, and customer service is the same. Just listen and understand the other person. Let them ventilate a bit, tell you what their problem is, tell you what they love about you, and just listen and care about them. That's customer service. And that's all an act of service. Pleasing is worried about how they're feeling, what they're going through, how they're looking at you, all their critique. You get 10 great reviews and one person has problems, and that's what you focus on, and you're all upset about it. That's because you're in a pleasing mindset. We did not please everybody. Well, folks, happiness is an inside job. You can't please everybody. What you can do is you can serve everybody well. That's an issue of integrity. So let's bring this together with some lessons for this morning. This first lesson I see is that pure service excludes people-pleasing. If we want to do the best, pure, best service, we need to get out of the people-pleasing business. I don't mean that you don't care about people. I think you care about people and you want to take care of them, but how they feel about you and what they even think about the process is not that important to you. What's important to you is that you deliver the goods. You deliver excellent service, an excellent product, an excellent understanding, an excellent, dare I say, love and kindness, that you show up great and you do great things and you listen and you care about them, but you really don't care too much about their emotions and their feelings and their responses and reactions, because everybody is different. And some people will love what you're doing and how you're providing it, some won't. But pure service gets rid of all that thinking and focuses on meeting needs, helping that what is best for that person. A surgeon, for example, will cut a person open and put his hand inside their body cavity to manipulate and do things. That's not very pleasing to most people. To have a dentist or a surgeon start to pull and cut things, but they're serving. A parent who loves their child is not always doing what's pleasing for them. If you're seeing the distinction here, that's what my hope is for you in this session. Serving is bold, it's selfless, and it's kind. It's all about the other person. It's not about me. Pleasing is the opposite of that. It's more murky, it's self-focused, and it can be very harmful because we're not getting the truth. We're getting facade, we're getting drama, we're not getting facts, we're not getting the truth, we're not getting what will really make us better. And then this statement, genuine kindness seeks to serve well, not to please. It's not like we're trying to upset people or make them uncomfortable. That is not the goal. The fact is, if you serve well with genuine kindness, some people will not be pleased by that. Others will really appreciate it and feel great about it. They'll probably still be uncomfortable if you're managing or you're leading them or you're working with them. If you're truly going to serve them, you're probably not going to please them at times. You're going to make them uncomfortable. All growth occurs in discomfort. Think about that. All growth occurs in discomfort. We come out of the comfort zone. If you lead somebody out of their comfort zone in that moment of change, think about that word, they will not necessarily be pleased, but you are serving them well as a leader. So, what do you want to do with me? I would love to help you. 3 offers. I'll send you that slide that you just saw and some articles that go with this topic, I'd be glad to do that if you'll email me, Dave Beam at mentordavebeam.com, and say I just like the slides or the articles from today. Secondly, if you go to the website, mentordavebeam.com, 300 plus articles. Now, they're not all on this subject, but they're on related topics, leadership topics, management topics, business coaching topics, personal growth topics. We have YouTube links to sessions just like this, about over 30 hours of recorded material. It's available on site on YouTube for free. And you can sign up there to get my weekly article. I'm writing a new article every Monday and sending that out. And all of that is at no cost because I want to serve. And so you find all that information on the website. That's where you can sign up for the article and find all the links to those different things in the other articles. And then finally, a conversation. That's what floats my boat. I just love to serve and be helpful to people, and it's typically in a conversation. Sitting and listening carefully to your situation, processing that, asking you some questions, helping you clarify, helping you find some answers that are there. You just haven't slowed down to see them. We'll do all of that. I might have some suggestions. My suggestions are kind of secondary. It's really helping you get clear on what you really want, what you really want to do, what goal you want to achieve, what situation, what relationship you want to fix. And that all can happen just by scheduling that conversation, by emailing me at davebeam@mentordavebeam.com. And all that is I'll send you out a Zoom invite when we decide when's a good time. We'll have a meeting like this online for about an hour, and we'll just work on whatever you want to work on for that hour. Dave, why do you do that for free? Because I want to serve people and I want to help people like you, and that's how we do it. And that is the end of the story. Some of those people bring me business and pay me and all that. That's part of the business, but that's not my focus in that hour. My focus in that hour is you and how I can serve you. So with that, we'll say goodbye. And Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. I'm working on the content for how we're going to do this next year right now. So thank you, and goodbye. Have a nice day.